cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut.
Today's episode is brought to you by Gem Accessories. Gem Accessories is one of the leading accessory manufacturers within the trading card game space. Known for their deck boxes, Gem also has an amazing lineup of binders, backpacks, and more. Some of our personal favorites include the new KLRZ Icons deck boxes, the Secrets binder, and the Jaguar and Puma backpacks. But don't just take it from us, check out some of these reviews on screen. For all these amazing products and more, be sure to check out Gem Accessories using the link in the description down below or on Twitter at XGemAccessories. Again, the description down below or on Twitter at XGemAccessories. Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. I'm Sunny, and I'm here with my co-host Caleb.
Hello.
And of course, we want to welcome you all into this particular episode of the podcast. So, for those that are here, we want to thank you so much for being here on this wonderful Friday. And of course, thank you to all of our sponsors, starting with, of course, Gem Accessories. Then, of course, we always want to thank Steelfox Games, ETB Games for being constant sponsors and supporters. And, of course, Millennium Threads. You can check them out with a discount code down below, just like you would with Gem Accessories. And, of course, if you want to check out some affiliate links, we have affiliate links for both TCG Player and Dragon Shield down below. Just click them before you shop, and it will help support the podcast at no extra cost to yourself. Now, of course, we always want to thank all of our patrons. So a huge thank you to our patrons. We'll read off the names at the end of the episode, but wanted to go ahead and thank them, of course, at the top of the episode. If you're interested in getting that extra episode every week, you can always check out our Patreon. For the $5 tier and up every month gets an extra episode every single week. Usually it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! Topics at this point, but we do talk about some other stuff, and we do that extra episode. Also, if you really want to show your support and show your love for the podcast, but you don't really have the budget, that's fine. We understand. All you need to do is go ahead and subscribe on our YouTube, or if you're on Spotify or iTunes, leave us a rating or a review and go ahead and follow or subscribe to us there, whatever the appropriate platform is. So with that said, thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. So what we're going to do today is something a little bit different. We are going to go ahead and we're going to do a mailbag question. Or a mailbag question episode, rather.
Yeah.
So
A full mailbag episode, if you would.
yes. Sorry, I got distracted. But it's okay. I will get it.
Together, hopefully.
If I can figure out how to spell.
Spelling is hard, apparently.
It is difficult sometimes, depending on the day, sure, but it's something, all right.
Fair.
So the first thing that I want to say is, if you are interested, if you're going to be there, I'm going to try my very bestest to be at YCS London. As of airing, I think it's 9 weeks from today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to land Friday morning very, 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 very early and take off Monday morning. Not quite as early, but still pretty early. So if you are interested, if you're one of our European listeners, which we do actually have quite a few of, Caleb won't be there.
Yeah.
But I will be at YCS London. I would say more than likely. But this trip is very expensive. So to make this trip happen, I am probably going to do something at some point, maybe some kind of like a fundraiser stream of some sort. But yeah, I don't know quite how I'm going to do that yet. I thought about doing maybe like a Patreon incentive goal or something, but I think a fundraiser stream would maybe be the best solution. I know there's like types of fundraiser streams that some people do where it's like for every $1 raised for travel, $1 also gets donated to charity.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I'm gonna make it work yet. I haven't got that far. or like what the incentive goals would be.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but if you have any ideas for that, incentive goals, things like that, go ahead and let us know. Or something that you would like to see if we did a live stream, like a fundraiser live stream. Because I think that there are some cool things that we could do. We would just have to figure out how to set it all up. So, but in the meantime, what do you say we hit them with the first mailbag question?
Heck yeah.
All right. Now, I have not pre-read any of these mailbag questions, mostly.
Neither have I.
So, okay. Let's see. So, what do you want to see out of the fire pack? Okay, so we're going to start off out of the gate by saying we haven't discussed this on the podcast yet. There is a fire duelist pack coming up.
Yes, Duels with the Explosion.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit more maybe in the next episode. Hopefully we'll get some more information.
Yeah, I would like more than just the name.
Right.
I kind of want to see some volcanic support finally.
Yes, I think we would all love to see that just for the sake of it. But I don't know, man. I feel like volcanics already have the potential to be an explosive deck, so got to be careful.
I see what you did there.
I also see what I unintentionally did there.
Maybe we could also rekindle the Flamvel.
I don't know what I would want to see out of it other than I would like to see volcanic support for the sake of it, for the meme. But
yeah. Even if it's just something like volcanic blah blah blah. Search for volcanic rocket.
I will say this. Pyro is the least supported typing in the entire game.
Yeah. Maybe some Fire King stuff.
Ooh.
That'd be spicy.
That would be sick.
That'd be spicy.
I see what you did there. Okay. You're stuck on an island with your 3 favorite players of all time. You have to choose one person to die. Who is it? So my question is, my 3 favorite players of what?
Are you talking football, Yu-Gi-Oh, pinball?
I can't name a single favorite pinball player, but I can name a bunch of favorite Yu-Gi-Oh players and that other thing that I watch, football.
I can't name any in particular.
I know you can name some football players.
I can name... I'm really digging through the archives. Give me a second.
You're a wealth of useless information. I'm sure you can pick up a single football player name.
I can think of one dude's face.
What does it look like?
He looks like a member of the Chainsmokers.
That tells me nothing. That could be any of them.
I mean, to be fair, a member of the Chainsmokers is just kind of just a white guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Was part of the Dallas Cowboys for a long time. I think. Peyton Manning. That's it. Peyton Manning.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So you see that ball over there?
Yeah, with the horse on it.
Okay.
Behind the camera.
Yeah, behind the camera.
Yes.
To the left of that horse is a signature.
Mm-hmm.
That is Peyton Manning.
Oh, cool.
And the horse is a Bronco for the Denver Broncos.
Ah, cool.
Who he played the back half of his career for.
Okay,
the
cool.
back quarter of his career.
Okay.
He played the front 3/4 of his career for the Indianapolis Colts. He played for horse teams. Quite the opposite of the Cowboys.
I think that's why I thought Cowboys.
Potentially.
Because Cowboys go together.
You could come up with Drew Brees.
Who?
You're smiling. I know you're messing with me.
I
know that's one that you didn't name, but you could have, now that I've said it, it sounds familiar. Surely.
Yeah, no.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's another name that in my mind is name football. And that is literally the entire
name
file.
Football, the Chainsmokers. Yeah.
But no, like literally, if it was a filing cabinet, you would open the filing cabinet for football. It's just like random names you open, and it just says name football, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it's football players, then I'm gonna go with Cam Jordan, Mark Ingram, and JJ Watt. And if one has to go, it's JJ Watt. So nobody probably asked for that. But if it's Yu-Gi-Oh players, it would be Joe Giorlando, Pack, and probably Billy Break. And if one has to go, then it's probably me.
Fair.
It's probably me.
Because
I'm stuck with my 3 favorite players, and one person has to die. Never specified one of those 3 players, so it's probably me.
it goes against the spirit of the question, but
Right.
But I mean,
I love how
whatever.
Caleb's like, it goes against the spirit of the question, but I don't have a problem with it because you are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
Tell my wife I said hello.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I love
I'm
some
sure
drama.
it's wait, I don't remember that particular line.
Which one?
Tell my wife I
Oh
said
yeah,
hello.
it was the episode with where it was like these two, where it was like Earth versus this was in a war against this other planet.
That's
I
like
don't remember.
a bunch of the episodes.
Yeah, and then like
Oh, was it Omicron Persei 6?
Persei 8.
8, I'm sorry.
Persei 6 don't exist anymore because they were blown up by Persei 8.
That makes sense.
And then like they were basically going through a peace treaty that was a fake peace treaty with these aliens of neutrality who were neutral about absolutely everything. And like they launch a missile to blow it up, and the one neutral alien just is watching the missile come over, and he says, "Tell my wife I said hello."
Wow.
It's great.
Okay, are you guys excited about Jesse Cotton's first YouTube video? You know, it's so difficult for me personally. Like, I don't know how much you ingest Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube content.
I didn't realize he made a YouTube video.
Okay, well, his first one came out this week, I think, or supposed to, or something.
Soon.
I'm very, very much in tune with the Yu-Gi-Oh community on Twitter. Very in tune with Yu-Gi-Oh Twitter. I used to be extremely in tune with Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube also. I used to watch everything by most creators. I would watch every Nim Nim video, every Distant Coder video, every Farfa MBT, Simo, every Rev Z video,
Blah, blah,
Tom
blah.
Box. GGYGO, all of them. Pack. I used to watch every video from every major creator in the space without fail. I mean, every time, right? But I've kind of gotten to the point where we make enough content now where granted, we don't do like highly edited, put together videos
Yet.
regularly that these other creators do.
Yeah.
But we still put in several hours every week into the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, for us to both be working full time and put the amount of time into the podcast that we do, and plus trying to maintain our personal lives on top of that, for me, it's like something has to give.
Yeah, we just don't have time anymore.
Right. So all the time I used to spend ingesting Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube.
You're now making Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube.
Right. More
which
or
is
less.
hilarious.
So I don't know that for me personally, I just don't watch that much. Like the people that I mostly watch these days are GGYGO, Josh Schmidt, Pack, and MBT. And I'll watch some Farfa clips every now and then. And that's nothing against any other creator. Like, it's not that I don't want to watch your videos or whatever. It's just that, like, I drive for work. Like, I can't watch all these YouTube videos while I'm driving. You know, some of them I can lock my phone and listen to in the background, but I can't keep up with them all. So I'm excited that Jessica Cotton is doing YouTube content, because as somebody that when I do ingest YouTube content, I want it to be from the most competitive players.
Of course.
So I'm excited for that, but at the same time,
Just
I'm
don't
not.
have the time for it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's not something that I'm just like super duper in tune with. It's not something that I know if I'll be able to keep up with. So, what steps did you guys take to get better at the game competitively? Caleb, what about you?
Well, first thing first,
And give yourself more credit than you're going to. You're not going to give yourself much credit. I know that. Give yourself more credit than you're going to, because you have gotten immensely better at the game since we got back in.
Well, first thing is first. I don't know why I'm doing a goofy voice. Yuck. First things first was I started watching I basically started watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos on where the meta was, and from there, and like once you figure out what the meta is, it's not hard to just kind of keep track on the changes as it changes.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as the meta, it's that, and then from there, it's just kind of finding a deck, learning it. For me, then jumping to another deck and learning it, then jumping to another deck and learning it, then jumping back to that first deck and relearn. Not even having to relearn it, just relearn not the deck itself, but how it plays against other decks in the meta, if that makes sense.
Yes.
That's a big point, is you have to know how your deck interacts with the current meta decks.
Yeah, for sure.
A great example is in Medolce. If I shuffle back Challenge Monsters, I have to also shuffle back that field spell, because if I don't,
Yep.
I get bored.
I had that exact same issue when I first played against Tier Limit the weekend that it released at that regional.
Yeah.
I shuffled back cards. I was like, do any of your cards do anything? He was like, nah. And so I'm comboing, and I use Baxia to shuffle back 2, and he goes, oh, activate the field spell to pop. I was like, wait, what? He was like, yeah,
You said
yeah.
it didn't do anything.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I thought it didn't do anything. He was like, well, I didn't realize you were going to shuffle.
It doesn't do anything at that moment.
Right. It doesn't represent an active form of interruption.
Unless this exact situation comes up, which normally they would trigger themselves.
Exactly.
But at that time, he couldn't trigger it himself, so he didn't even consider it a thing.
Right. Either that, or he just, didn't want me to know, which, fair. I asked my opponent and took it on faith, which I never should have done. I'm too trusting, but...
Fair enough. Yeah. But like once you've learned a deck, the hardest thing is to just get games in with whatever's in the meta, and then from there, learning how your deck interacts with the meta.
Sure.
Like, can your deck pump out rank 4 exceeds like it's nothing and doesn't lock you into anything? Yo, Abyss Dweller, right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. And then also kind of keeping tabs on how the meta is changing, so that way you know when, okay, I need to alter like my hand trap lineup,
Right.
or I might even have to jump deck altogether for temporarily because this, because for one reason or another, like, oh well, there's this deck out that's heavily anti-Xyz, so I probably shouldn't run Medolce as an example.
Right.
Like, oh, like a whole deck that literally gets effects off based on what extra deck mechanic, just as a horrible example. Or better yet, if Lancey's in the format, don't run a Banish heavy deck.
Right. Yeah, that's very fair.
As another example.
I mean, I think a great example is right now, Medolce is actually a very good choice, because people are running a lot of Graveyard Hate, which doesn't really bother Medolce. And there's been so much random Earth and Fairy support here lately that it just coincidentally makes Medolce better than it's ever been.
Not only that, but also it's an Earth deck, not a Dark or Light deck.
Exactly. So
it turns off Bestials unless
Right.
exactly DD Crow.
Yes. So it's really interesting that you bring up Medolce as an example of like, making choices when not to play a deck,
Yeah.
but also when to play a deck.
Yeah.
Like I said, Medolce is a great meta call right now, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that the next thing that I want to say about this particular question is just play the game.
Yeah. You got to play a lot of the game.
There is no substitute, truly, for getting in tons and tons and tons of games. I cannot express enough how important it is to play the game as much as possible and try to get it against different opponents as much as possible, because everybody plays the game a little differently. And to that end, not only does everybody play the game a little differently, but if you play against different decks, you learn what all the decks do, and the more games you have against the more different decks, the more experience you have going into your next tournament, right? So, if I go into a tournament where there's 9 rounds, at this moment in time right now, with me having been back in the game for about 2 years, I'm caught up. I know what Tri-Brigade does. I know what Virtual World does. I know what Sword Soul and Tearlament and Sprite.
Yeah, you know what Tearlament does.
I know what these decks do more or less. I mean, I know the combo lines in and out, but I have a general rule of thumb on how to play against them, how to interact with them. So
how to interact with their end board without it just turning your deck off.
Right, exactly. So as a result, because I've put in a lot of time to get a lot of games in, I have a rule of thumb on how I want to interact. So for me, I think that playtesting is the most important part of getting better, and iron sharpens iron. So I would really try to playtest against people that are not on your level. Playtest against people that are better than you, because they will change the way that you think. So that's my thing. I like playtesting Edison specifically a lot with Caleb, because I think in a lot of ways, Caleb is better than me at a lot of the things in Edison format. And to be honest with you, I think Caleb likes playtesting Advance against me because, no offense to you, Caleb, but I think I'm a little bit better in Advance than you are. So, you know, me and Caleb make a really good pair in that sense for testing partners. But I think that to grow as a player, you really need to push yourself with who you test with. I think that your circle really is the most important factor with your growth at Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to be in a circle with like-minded people that want to get better at the game and take that next step in the competitive aspect. Yeah. Okay. How should Tier 0 decks be handled? Like Dragon Rollers, where they play around with different cards to lower the ceiling but not to kill the deck. Like Pepe, where they took the deck out behind the shed. Or Zodiac, where they banned its key pieces while leaving most of it still legal in some form or another.
So the thing about Tier 0 decks that sometimes you can't do option 3 because any amount of the pieces existing is the deck at full power.
Right.
And then with Dragon Rollers, that was them attempting to lower the power ceiling, then realizing that it doesn't work unless you ban everything.
Yes.
Hence the take it out behind the shed with Pepe. That was them going, we've done experiences with Dragon Roller, we're not doing that again.
Yeah, I really genuinely believe that when you get into that kind of a Tier 0 format, it has to be a behind the woodshed kind of moment. Like,
because if it's not, you just end up with another format where, oh yeah, sure, it's not a Tier 0 format anymore, but that Tier 0 deck is still like the number 1 or number 2 deck in the room.
Yeah, I really believe right now that if we had a ban list that hit like 7 tier cards, it's probably still the best deck. If you hit 7 Ishizu tier cards, it's probably still the best deck, or at least very close.
As per our ban list episode that we did, like what, an episode or 2 ago?
A couple episodes ago, yeah.
I've lost track at this point.
Follow up, decks like Spiral have benefited from the power vacuum left behind from Tier 0 formats. Do you think the game has progressed enough in varied card design to prevent a secondary Tier 0 format forming after the first one was hit? So I'll research more, but I believe when Zoo died to the list, Spiral swooped in and had another Tier 0 format. So
because it was the second best deck in the room, but it couldn't do anything because the best deck in the room was...
Yeah, so Spiral is actually Tier 0 twice, but Spiral had I think, somebody told me that, but Spiral had the benefit of getting new support right when that ban list hit, which vaulted it up, but it wasn't Tier 0 for a super long time, if I remember correctly.
Like, I don't think, okay, so like if they hit Tearlament out of existence, I don't think there would be another Tier 0 format, just due to there not being... Well, that depends on when we get all the Kshatriy Law cards.
I don't think that you get another...
Now, that's not going to be Tier 0. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know, man. It might be.
Should they hit tier element into the dust where it's not a thing anymore, then I think there would. I don't think Kshatriya at that point would swoop in and just become the next tier 0 format, but it'd be close.
I'm not worried about Kshatriya itself. I'm worried about Kshatriya tier limits specifically.
Well, that's the thing. It wouldn't be a thing because tier limits are gone.
I mean, tier limits are basically hit enough to be gone in the OCG.
Yeah, and they're still chugging along.
They're still the best deck. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that unless we get a murderous ban list, tier limit will not get any better.
Yeah, no, it'll just evolve.
Yeah. All right. Next we have, why has the Fallen of Albaz lore been so long?
That is not a question that we can ask. You'd have to ask John Konami himself that question, and
Or Golden Nova YGO. He would know.
yeah, he would know. One of those two people would know.
Yes. What is your favorite anime character and or villain?
Ooh, favorite anime character?
Oh man, this is such a loaded question.
Yeah, probably Genos for me from One Punch Man.
Mine is probably I want to say Zoro from One Piece, but I don't know. I have so much issue picking a favorite anime character because
Yeah, it's a tough question.
yeah, I like Usopp and I like Zoro, but I also like the main guy from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah,
His name I forget. I like the main guy from One Punch Man, from
Saitama.
Yeah.
He's great.
I like the main guy from Demon Slayer. So I have all these shows that I just love all the main characters for.
It'd be
but,
easier if the question was, what's your favorite character from X anime?
Right.
But across all anime, I'm just like, I don't know. I can't pick one. Like, I guess Genos from, like I said, One Punch Man, maybe.
Yeah.
And even then, there's an argument to be made, even within my own head, on, well, no, it's actually this other character, and it's just like, I can't. It's like asking what my favorite Pokemon is. I can't pick.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think you really look at Pokemon through some rose-tinted glasses. Like you like Pokemon like I like Kingdom Hearts 2, but worse, because to me, at least I'm capable of seeing fault in Kingdom Hearts 2. You're not capable of seeing fault in Pokemon as far as I can tell.
Oh, no. There are major issues that have been through every single Pokemon game.
I'm talking about in the Pokemon themselves in a lot of ways.
Oh, Pokemon designs? There's been some hit and miss ones.
You like Flamigo.
Yes!
It's just a flamingo. It's just a flamingo.
He's so doofy, though.
I don't care how doofy it is. It's just a flamingo. The concept is doofy.
But I mean, as far as Pokemon, I live by every Pokemon is someone's favorite Pokemon. Every single one. Yes, even that one, the one you're thinking of that you think is awful, it is someone's favorite Pokemon out there.
What's your favorite bad Pokemon?
Ooh. Okay. Mentally, I've actually got a 3-way tie.
Okay.
Ninjask.
Okay.
Now
Now, Ninjask is the 1 HP one, right? Or is that Shedinja?
that's Shedinja.
Okay.
Ninjask being the other one.
Okay, the other half of Shedinja.
Yeah. I'm gonna flip through the old book here.
I think my favorite, really bad Pokemon is Toxicroak. I love Toxicroak. But a 4x weakness to Psychic is rough.
Not with Sucker Punch, it's not.
He's not that good.
He's had his niche uses.
I'll just believe you.
Yeah, he's had his Toxicroak has had very niche uses. Number 2 is Purugly.
Purugly. Okay, yeah, I get with Purugly.
Yeah, Glameow's Evolve form.
Yeah, I'm not a big Purugly fan.
And number 3 would probably actually.
What was your number 1?
Oh, Ninjask.
Oh, that's right.
Ninjask, Purugly, and Electros.
Electros.
It's an electric heal from Gen 5.
I'll just believe you.
So, it has no weaknesses. It's an electric type with Levitate. Great move pool.
Okay.
It's got Coil. It's got good physical moves. It's got good special moves. It's got decent stats.
Okay, what makes it bad?
at the point it existed, everything was better than it in every form. There was always, no matter where you put it, there was a Pokemon better than it at it.
Okay.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
It was just all right at everything.
All right. What is your deck you hate losing to the most?
Flu.
Yeah, Fluonderies has never really been a deck that like I enjoy playing against personally, but you know, like at the end of the day, I don't know if it's the deck I hate losing to the most. I don't like those like stun-based decks, like Eldritch and stuff.
Yeah, or like
ugh.
Kragan Control.
Yeah, you know what's the worst though? When I lose to the deck I'm currently playing, like a mirror match, or even worse, because there's like a few things. It's not a specific deck. It's like either the deck I'm currently playing or a deck that I'm super familiar with and I've played in the past, or the deck I prepared for the most going into the tournament.
Oh yeah, no, that feels the worst.
Dude, going into YCS Niagara, I prepared so much for tier limit because at that time it was already like the best deck.
Yeah.
And when I lost my last round that I played to that deck, I was just done. I was like, "Oh, you kidding me?"
Yeah, that never feels good.
Yeah, and what's funny is I played more against Sprite in that tournament than I did against tier limit.
No.
Yeah, Sprite took over 50% of top cut in that tournament, which is crazy. All right, how does one flood the gate? Well, you see.
Well, there's two ways. One way is to increase the water level, so it just kind of goes over the floodgate.
Yes. Who is Albaz and why is he fallen? Again, I recommend going and watching the Golden Nova Lore series.
I think his name is actually Ashen, and then that name was given to him by Ecclesia, I think, because he didn't have a name before.
I'm going to be honest, Albaz is a much more cringe-lord, edgy name, and it's much more fitting of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Themed thing.
But I think
very edgelordy.
I think Albaz is a place, though.
What?
Yeah, he's the fallen of Albaz. Unless Albaz is a person, and then he's the fallen. He's Albaz's fallen. Whoever this Albaz if it's a person, a place, maybe a thing. Albaz is a noun in this situation.
I feel like that meme of that lady with all the math equations flying by her head.
Yeah.
So I always just called him Albaz, and now
that's
I'm like,
what everyone called him, but that wasn't actually his name.
His name is not fallen of. What would? Bro.
Listen. There was you reminded me of a scene from a cartoon that was out not so long ago called Sonic Boom, where Sonic was like, it was a Sonic cartoon where Sonic was like, my middle name isn't this, and Knuckles goes, I thought your middle name was the Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my god, that was funny.
Another little Sonic fun fact.
Oh no, don't make me laugh.
Tails' real name is Miles Prower. Look at me. Miles Prower.
Oh my god.
That is Tails' real name.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Miles per hour, in case you didn't get it. Wow. That's something.
Yep.
How do you feel about Master Duel constantly pre-hitting decks before they are even fully out in the game?
I'm fine with it.
I'm sure that this is a reaction to the new Master Duel ban list where they banned the Toady Boy.
They banned the totally awesome I was about to say his OCG name there, and
Mochi Frog?
Yeah, Mochi Frog. The totally awesome Mochi Frog.
Yeah, you know what kills me is people complain when they hit these frog monsters, like, or toads, I guess. Like, they hit Ronin Toaden. And everybody's like, no, not my Ronin-y boy. And I'm just like, yeah, but, like, he was kind of the problem in that particular combo.
Yeah,
Like Ronin Toaden was the issue. And if he wasn't, then Totally Awesome was. So to see them hit Totally Awesome based off of Well, they say it's based off of current usage rates. I don't know about that, but regardless, to see them already hitting Totally Awesome, I'll be honest, I think Sprite is a cooler deck without Toad.
It is, because then they have to go to more interesting lines where they're utilizing like just random Link and Rank 2 monsters.
I legitimately believe the most fun I've ever had playing against Sprite, where I thought the deck looked the most interesting, was when they did not use Totally Awesome. Because I've played against Sprite players that like didn't go into Totally Awesome every chance they got. They went into other monsters and maybe ended up at Totally Awesome on the crackback. Because like that particular player, if I remember correctly, I went first and he went second, and like semi broke my board, and then I couldn't really do anything. And then on turn 4, his second turn, he ended up having just enough gas, and he did end up making Totally Awesome. But it was because it was kind of like a insulator rather than an inboard piece.
It was an insulator and also a beat stick, because Totally Awesome's pretty big.
He is fairly sizable. So, if you got to add one support card to your favorite archetype, what would it be? I feel like we've answered this one a few times in different forms.
Yeah.
I would add a good Link to the Geargia archetype, because I like Geargias, but,
Yeah.
like something along the lines of like, if this arrow is pointing to a face down monster, you can flip that monster. Then as an effect monster, it can activate its effects or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So,
or if it's an effect monster, this card's effect becomes that card's effect.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, where you can like flip armor and then activate and then get armor's effect off.
Right. How would y'all feel about the meta being a chaos format? People of older Yu-Gi-Oh! Loved GOAT and their chaos cards, but how about now? The meta is an updated chaos format. How does that make you feel, or your opinions?
It doesn't really feel like a chaos format is the thing. It feels more like a shadow imprisoning mirror archetype
Yeah.
format.
I see why somebody would say it's kind of a chaos format, because like the Bestials are the next iteration of a chaos monster.
Yeah, or a chaos deck in general.
Right. But
Yeah.
like you said, it doesn't really feel like a chaosy format.
It probably will. Once the Bestials kind of become their own separated thing where they're just kind of functioning on their own.
Yeah.
As the main engine of a deck and not a side piece.
If anything, instead of it being a chaos format, I think it's more of an anti-chaos format, because they targetedly remove light and darks from the graveyard.
Yeah. So if your opponent has like just put a light or a dark in grave, you can just go if they have both, you can just go cool, banish one of them.
Right.
It's weird. But to me, like I said, it doesn't feel like a chaos format. But I think it's because the main deck isn't
A light and dark deck.
Yeah, it is a dark deck that can banish lights to do its stuff too.
Potentially. I don't know. I wouldn't consider right now a chaos format, but for what it's worth,
Chaos adjacent.
That's good. I
Chaos
like that.
Adjacent.
But for what it's worth, I don't hate chaos formats. I don't particularly love them, but I don't really hate them.
Neither do I. I actually have really, really fond memories of the old Chaos Dragon deck.
Right.
With like Light Pulsar and Dark Flare.
Yeah. I remember that vividly. I remember
Vividly
it
is good.
fondly. There's a word that's like a combination of vividly and fondly.
One of the most fondest memories I have was sitting down.
Most fond.
Yeah.
Most fondest.
Was sitting down. I win the die roll. Draw 5, draw off a turn. Future Fusion. They just go scoop.
Yes, I like that story.
And I was like, I hadn't even revealed what I'm going to fuse into. He went, it's 5-headed dragon. I went, yeah. Flip the top card of my deck. My extra dragon was 5-headed dragon. He's like, all right, scoop. Yeah, let's just go to game 2.
Yeah.
Didn't even want to bother.
What upcoming archetype are you looking forward to the most?
At the moment, I'm really not right now. Actually,
I am.
what's that?
I'm looking forward to the Dino archetype.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
The thing is, I'm being cautiously optimistic because we don't even know what kind of deck it is. Is it a banish deck? Is it a destruction deck? Is it a burn deck?
Oh, don't say
Synchro,
burn.
is it a synchro, Xyz, fusion?
Right.
We don't know any of that yet, so I'm just like, I'm gonna hold off until we get a little more information about the deck.
Yeah.
Personally.
What is the Yu-Gi-Oh card of all time?
Oh, Hungry Hamburger.
Ooh. I was going to say there's too many to pick from, but you might just be correct. Autonomous Action Unit. No, wait. No. I'm trying to think of the Trap Disposal Unit. What's the one with the 4 little Soitsu, Doitsu guys and they're removing traps?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think it was Trap Disposal Unit.
Something like that.
They're also on Fossil Dig.
Or is it Trap Disposal Unit A or something like that?
Yeah, it's Trap Disposal Unit A. They're also on, it's the same group on Fossil Dig, and then they're also on something excavation unit.
Yeah.
Where they're excavating like a UFO or something.
The point is, Soitsu, Doitsu,
Koitsu, and I forgot the fourth one.
Bob. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, those 4 are also very solidly Yu-Gi-Oh!
Dude, have you ever read the descriptions for those guys?
I have, but it's been 5 ever since I have, though.
Dude, the descriptions for those guys are hilarious.
Fun fact, they're from a Konami game. I can't tell you what game it, yeah, I can't tell you what game it was, what it is, though. I cannot remember.
Oh, no. Wow, I remember my dueling book login. Normally I just hit the duel button because it leaves me logged in. That's crazy. Oh, I can't remember if I spelled it right. Soitsu, apparently totally unreliable. He wonders if he has incredible potential.
Oh, Lord.
Which is just gauge, but, whatever.
Yeah.
Then Doitsu is literally...
It's an effect monster, though.
It's a union monster that can only equip to Soitsu.
Yeah.
And it's unsearchable.
Yeah, and then there's Doitsu.
This is Doitsu.
Okay, yeah.
Doitsu attaches to Soitsu, who has great potential. And then there's... What was the other one?
Koitsu.
Koitsu.
It was a union monster.
Same thing. And he equips to Aitsu.
Aitsu, that was the other one.
Okay, Aitsu. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that was the 4th one.
Aitsu. Okay. He seems to be very unreliable, but he might have incredible potential.
It's literally the same text.
Same thing. Dude, amazing.
I mean, so are the Moai cannons. They're also from another Konami game.
Are they?
Yeah.
Moai interceptor cannons?
Yeah.
What are these from?
The same. I think it's the same game as Koitsu, because it's a bullet hell where you like pick your character and they're one of the and it's a dude, just a dude on a paper airplane is one of your options.
Amazing.
It's a weird game.
It sounds like a weird game. Good, but weird.
There's actually a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are direct. There's actually a YouTube video recently about this, I think.
Really?
Yeah. There's like a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards are direct references to other Konami products, from Castlevania to Metal Gear Solid, well, Metal Gear in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should watch the video if you see it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Best color of sleeves. Caleb, can you hand me the sleeves that are on my Edison cube real quick?
Sure.
Because that's the best color of sleeves. Maybe even hold it up to the camera. What are you doing? No, just grab the ones on the deck. Yeah. And just like kind of hold them up to the camera a little bit. I don't know if that really qualifies. It's Dragon Shield Ivory. Hashtag sponsored. Be sure to check them out. Dragon Shield Ivory. I think personally it is the maybe best color of sleeves out there.
I'm more partial toward more like the teals.
Okay, I respect teal.
Pink colors.
I also like Lagoon.
Yeah, Lagoons. Glacier. Very nice.
Lagoon and Glacier, both
Light
very
blue.
nice. I really like, they have one called Eucalyptus.
Oh, yes, those are also nice.
Yeah, like those darker kind of ones that are almost like a dark pastel.
I wish they were more like the brighter pastels, though.
I also wish this. How do you feel about the Kashtira rarities?
Isn't it literally just the same as Sword Soul?
It is, but I feel like the Kashtira rarities, they're all mostly in the main deck. Well, I guess a Rise Heart is an extra deck monster.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I feel like it's worse in the main deck.
it might be. I just think it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I'm kind of thrilled about it because that means there's gonna be less people playing it.
Fair.
What happened to Thursday Night Locals? We are really busy.
Yeah.
That is nothing personal against anybody. It is not that we don't want to do something like this, like a Thursday Night Remote Duel Locals that we were doing, but it takes a lot of effort to run something like that. And as it was, we weren't even running it before. One of our mods was running it, and he's taking a break. So, for us to really pick up and run it, it's just not something that's feasible. Because like I've said, we work full time. We do the podcast basically 15 to 20 hours a week on top of working full time. And then commitments to playing the game, and then family commitments on top of everything else. It's not something that we can really handle right now. So
unfortunately.
Yeah. How much loan should I take out to build Kashtira deck from scratch? At least 1,000. Oh, from scratch?
Yeah, I would assume that means
1,500.
Yeah, because I would assume that would mean like no staples either. So you'd also have to pick up the staples too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, just Fenrir's alone is $70 a piece.
Yeah. So
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think 1,000 really is like a good number, but $1,000.
Now, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's a waste of a loan.
Yes. Rank your guests on the podcast from worst to best. No. I will not do that. I will say my favorite episode that we have ever put out. Caleb, do you have a favorite episode with a guest?
Not really.
I do.
Okay. Is it Pack?
It is not.
Okay.
I love Pack.
Yeah, those are great episodes.
And I especially love Pack in person. And his streams are a great vibe. And I really think that the Hani episode has the most valuable information.
Fair.
I think that the Hani episode is kind of crazy as far as like the amount of good information that he gives you in that episode.
That's fair.
But my favorite episode is the Cali Effect episode.
That's fair.
Dude, his energy was so great. I was talking to somebody else about this earlier today, actually. His energy on that episode was so good, and it just makes you want to riff off of that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, dude, that episode was awesome. And I'll be honest, the YouTube edit of that episode, that is such a good edit on that video.
Mhm.
I'm so happy with that video.
Yeah, our editor
The YouTube video looks awesome.
Yeah, our editor did an amazing job on that.
Our editor literally worked tirelessly for like a week on that video.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a great, well put together video. Honestly, please give it a watch if you haven't. Like, it doesn't look like we did that much editing, but to edit together all of the sound and the video to like where every time somebody talking is like a different face on screen.
Yeah.
It's work. Caleb, specifically, this one's for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your all-time favorite Mega Man game? I see you repping the OG shirt sometimes.
Mega Man 2.
Okay.
Just for everyone's reference, my Master Robot order I normally go with is Metal Man into Heat Man to Wood Man to Air Man. And then I'll usually do Bubble Man next, just knock him out because he's real quick and easy. And then I do Flash, Crash, and Quick.
I'm going to assume that means a lot to some people. I don't know. Best food from your home state?
Gumbo.
Gumbo is the snap reaction. But I disagree.
Listen. I've had gumbo where I took a bite and it made me cry.
I have too. And I'm just going to tell you, I make a mean pot of gumbo. mean. It takes like 5 hours to make it, but it's good gumbo.
Listen. Good gumbo takes a minimum 4 hours. Minimum.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a good gumbo in less than 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be honest. And that's not including prep time.
Oh yeah.
I would say best food from our home state. I'll be honest, it might be boiled crawfish. I love a good crawfish boil.
That's fair. Also a nice crawfish étouffée
Okay,
over some
now.
rice.
Okay, one of my favorite things I've ever eaten. So I like crawfish étouffée.
Mhm.
In fact, I love crawfish étouffée. The answer might be crawfish étouffée.
Fair enough.
But here in our hometown, there is a restaurant that you can go to,
Mm-hmm.
and they serve a Creole potato. Now, what this is this is a baked potato
Mm-hmm.
with the inside scooped out, mixed up to make it a twice baked potato.
Okay.
Okay, you're with me so far?
Yeah.
Then they take this twice baked potato and they put 3 shrimp on it.
Okay.
And then they take the whole thing, not just a little bit on top. They completely cover it in crawfish étouffée.
That sounds amazing. Holy
It is amazing.
crap.
It is amazing. It's one of those.
That's the best thing.
That particular thing is the best.
Yes.
It's very good. It's very good.
It sounds like it.
I also like it when you get like a good piece of fish, like some snapper
Mhm.
or something like that, and they've put étouffée on the snapper.
Mm.
I really like crawfish étouffée.
Yeah.
So it might be. I'm throwing my vote from boiled crawfish to crawfish étouffée.
Yeah.
What is the worst city/town you've been to? I'll be honest, man. Our hometown isn't great. I don't want to call out any of the towns that are too close to me
Yeah.
because, well, I know people that live there
Yeah.
and like I work here.
There's a couple
But
there's a couple people where if you ask where they're from, they'll tell you, and if you go, "I'm sorry," their response is, "I know."
yeah. But for posterity's sake, I haven't been as many places as other people. But where I have been that sucks butt is the American side of Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls, New York is just terrible. It's awful. It's like you're on the Canadian side and it's like the whole place is a giant party all the time and it's great. I think then you drive across the border to the American side and you're like, this sucks. It's like a terrible city. Like it's not like a nice touristy area. It's just like a, it's like a
No, I get it.
it's a poop hole.
Yeah.
It really is bad. And it's not even like cool like the Canadian side. It just looks like a downtown area. It sucks.
And then one of the great wonders of the world is right over there.
Like literally you're looking this direction and it's this horrible, terrible
Rundown city.
rundown looking downtown area. And then you turn 180 degrees and it's nothing but one of the most beautiful sights in the world.
Gee, that
It's astounding. And then if you look to the far side of that beautiful sight, you see what looks like the coolest looking area you've ever seen. And that's the Canadian side of the falls.
it almost sounds, man, that sounds like a
It's like if there was a strip mall on the far side of the Grand Canyon. Which would be so American.
the only thing more American is pancakes without syrup, because then they'd be Canadian. Because you gotta have that Canadian maple syrup, eh?
Okay, but pancakes without syrup is un American.
Yes, it's weird.
That's un-North American.
Yeah. You know what? I take back the pancakes. Because that's just North America, not.
Don't put dry
It's an American
pancakes on me.
invention with a Canadian export. So
Something like
North
that.
American. Apple pie.
That's American.
Just like a strip mall with a giant apple pie flying saucer
Yeah.
that shoots guns.
No, that dispenses guns.
No. Like the bottom opens up and these two robot arms come out with cartoon revolvers.
No. It gives out guns without background checks. That's how you make it American.
Yosemite Sam comes out of nowhere.
All right. What do you think? Or wait. Is this in English? What do you think anime adaptation of OCG stories or OCG structures be?
Hold on. I think I understand. I think I understand what they're asking.
An anime adaptation of OCG stories or OCG structures would. I don't know what this question is asking.
Okay, would you think that an anime adaptation of OCG stories or the OCG structures, the two manga series, be a realistic project Konami could protect? Like an anime, they're asking if they think Konami would ever produce an anime adaptation of the OCG stories manga or the OCG structures manga. No, I think they're gonna keep them as a manga format.
They're not gonna spend money for cool things for us.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, a Sky Striker anime would be really cool.
But no.
No.
Thoughts on the Kashtira rarities and pre-sale prices? It's too high. It's all too high.
It's too high.
I did get the Dabble cards, but not going to build it anymore as I'm feeling paywalled out of it with this set. Yeah, I mean everybody is. That's like one of the issues with this set is that, and see, I'm not gonna say I knew this would happen, but when you get something like, not every set is gonna have a Fluanderies in it, where it's like this low rarity deck that's like really competitive and stuff.
Yeah, a lot. You're gonna have your sets where the only playable cards are all in super high rarity.
Right. I mean, if you remember, the other side of Fluanderies was Sword Soul, which had 3 secrets, 2 ultras, and three secrets, 3 ultras, and 2 supers.
Yeah.
Like
you played like what, one of the commons?
Yeah, you played 1 copy of 1 common.
Yeah, everything else was super ultra. And secret.
3 Ecclesia, 3 Moyi, and 2 Qishao, all secrets. You need 1 Chengying, 3 Longyan, 3 Emergents, all ultras.
And then you needed a Taya.
2 to 3 Taya, and 1 Sword Soul Summit.
Yeah.
And then 1 Blackout, which is a common.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but crazy. I think it's all way too high, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I think if you wait a month after release, everything will be way cheaper.
Except maybe the Fenrir's. Except that's maybe.
How do we reset current Yu-Gi-Oh? You literally need a ban list.
Yeah.
With no less than 8 tier limit Ishizu cards, including limiting all of the Ishizus down to 1.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe 10 tier limit Ishizu cards.
Yeah, including limiting all of the Ishizu cards.
And you have to hit Fluanderies, and you have to hit Sprite, and you have to hit Sword Soul, and you have to hit Despia.
Yeah, we're talking.
And you also have to hit generic power cards like Triple Tactics Talent.
We're talking maybe 30 hits here.
No, I don't know that you can make it happen in 30.
So closer to like 40 or 50 hits.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 30 moves on the ban list is like a realistic number to truly reset the meta in a way that I'll be honest, the game needs. Because like one of the biggest indicators on the health of the game, in my opinion, is audience engagement with the online content. And right now, engagement is the lowest I've ever seen it. Our podcast episodes have plateaued very hard in a pretty astounding way compared to the growth we were getting, which I've talked to other content creators, and from what I understand, this is not just an us thing. This is everybody, because the format blows.
So people are kind of being like, I'm going to step back for a little while.
Right. So what we
like some
need,
of our, like pretty much everyone else in our group.
literally 3/5 of our group has stopped playing. So I think when you really look at that particular aspect of how many people are stopping right now, I think that you really need to reset the format in a significant way. I think it's overdue, to be honest with you.
It really needs to happen like on a timed schedule.
I think it's a year overdue.
Yeah.
So, do you know any doctors that specialize in buying kidneys? Need money for kshatri?
No, we don't.
No, I don't. I can
Wait.
ask some people I know, but
Uh,
I can't guarantee anything. They're usually into livers. Can you make a list of the lists you need to make in order to make a list? You will first need a pen, and you also need paper, and you also need inspiration. Who is Yu-Gi-Oh? A spiky-haired kid with a puzzle. What is Yu-Gi-Oh? A children's card game. Where is Yu-Gi-Oh? Your heart. Most importantly, why is Yu-Gi-Oh?
They didn't ask the most important question.
To confuse you.
Yeah, they didn't ask the most important question. How is Yu-Gi-Oh?
The last question. How is
Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh,
They
by
did
someone
ask it.
else. By someone else.
Yeah. How is Yu-Gi-Oh? Not great right now, I'll be honest
at the
with
Mo.
you. I think that the tier limit, I stick to my guns. The tier limit is an interesting back and forth matchup. But I will concede that it is not good for the game. No. So, all right. Well, hey, listen, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the mailbag questions. But before we go, we, of course, want to thank all of our patrons. So, a huge thank you to April Floodgate, Cam Yang, Dragon Maid Stun Zed, Kane Martin, Zyphers, Yeet Defeat, Blackwing, Silverwing the Ascendant is the best Floodgate, Earth Machine, Best Deck, Epi, Has Anyone Actually Read Toy Vendor, HGH Cyber, I Am McLincoln, Mom Said I Could Be Anything, So I Became a Mentally, Financially, and Emotionally Unstable Millennial, Mountain Man, Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado, Pingo is the best deck, Newt, Quitting the Game as a Floodgate, Sprite Farter, Unbanned number 95, Konami, Understanding and Reading are two different things, Virtually Savior's World, Rogue and Tier 2 are the polite terms for bad deck, AD, Aaron Gardner, Asami, Ashlish Chaps, Box Wine, Bestial Pizza Hut, Duty Booty, Dragon Maidenless Behavior, For a Higher Dog Turd, Heroes, Purple Cereal, I'm about to wreak a glamour tribute for Costies Plant Nuts in Your Mouth. Oh, God.
That one always gets me.
Jerry Beans, man. Cam, the disciple of Caleb's waifu philosophy. Old Man Red, pin code 143. Ray Powell, Rescue Aces Tier 1, Watch Me, and Santa Claus. Thank you all again for your continued support of the podcast. Now, of course, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do that, checking the link out down below. And until next week, have a great weekend, everyone.
Take care, everybody.